Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen for another week of dinners. I am starting this week off with a super simple dinner. My daughter has been unwell again. She goes to daycare and she just picks up everything. Anyways, she's been unwell since she started daycare 4 or 5 months ago now. And tonight we are having homemade fish and chips with peas, because I feel like it's one of the things that Lola might feel like eating tonight. She really likes this fish that we buy from Woolies. It's like frozen battered fish, and we just do up some super simple fries and some peas. So that's on the cards tonight. Also, I just haven't had the time today to prep what I initially planned for dinner tonight, which honestly, I'm glad I'm doing this because again, Lola's got a better chance of eating this for dinner at the moment. I was going to do a tray bake, like a bean tray bake that I really like, but I'll hopefully get around to doing that tomorrow night. It's a type of dinner too that I can prep earlier in the day if I've got a moment of time, have it all in the tray ready to go to put in the oven for dinner. But tonight, easy fish and chips. I'm in my gym clothes because I had planned to get to the gym this afternoon, but traffic was really bad for my partner to get home. And I could go to a later session, but I'm pretty hungry. Do you feel like normal potato?
What potato do you feel like? What have we got?
Sweet and normal.
We had other potatoes last night.
Okay, I'll just do sweet potato. I'll just fill the tray. Yesterday, I did get around to cleaning out the cutlery drawer. It was just getting way too much crap in here. We've got our cutlery drawer insert, and we had it pushed to the back of the drawer, so there was this little gap here, and it started off just being a place for pens and measuring spoons, so I can quickly get them instead of rummaging through the next drawer, which is a whole nother issue. Anyways, and it was just getting gross, so I literally took all of the cutlery out and washed it as well, and cleaned. I probably didn't have to do that, but I I'm the type of person where I start a job and it's just like I deep clean. Anyways, I also cleaned out obviously the drawer and the little cutlery organizer, and it's just, it feels so nice to open that drawer and only see cutlery. I mean, the little end bit of this cutlery organizer, I'm keeping one Sharpie and one biro, and I will be keeping my measuring spoons here. And look, it's gonna get shit in it, but it's clean for now, which is always nice. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Maddie. I'm an Aussie mum, and on this channel I show you everything I get up to in the kitchen as an Aussie mum on a budget. Okay, got the peas on. I'm going to pop the fish in the oven. So this is the one that we like. It's this Just Caught brand. I really like it. It gets really nice and crispy in the oven. So, you can hear a little toy in the background. My partner is playing with our daughter. Let me double check. So pre-oven to 210. Remove from packaging, cook from frozen 16 minutes, turning halfway through. So I'll put an 8-minute timer on. And we just cook them all while we're cooking them. These are, yeah, just the battered one. They're slightly more expensive, I think, to other brands, and they're not really on sale very often, but we feel like it's the better brand, and it's worth it. And it's a huge packet of them. I don't like them to be too bunched up, but that's okay. All right, so 16 minutes halfway through, we'll turn them. I'll have to rearrange this rack. All right, 8 minutes, and then I'll turn them around. Nothing better than coconut water, even if it is a cold day. It's absolutely freezing, it's gloomy outside. I've just given my daughter a few little snacks to have in a little play area, while hopefully I get dinner prepped. So I'll pop these away. Tonight we are having baked ratatouille with beans. This is one of my favourite recipes from the cookbook, from Recipe Titties Dinner. I got this cookbook a few years ago. I'm so sad too. The other day, I really hate the space on top of the fridge. I want to get some nice baskets for up there for a few miscellaneous things, but really everything that's up there needs to just go somewhere else because it doesn't get touched up there. So it should just be clear. But I do keep my cookbooks up there, and it just fell down the other day. nothing knocked it, it just decided to fall. And it's properly dented the book. But anyways, it's kind of a metaphor for today. Ignore my hair, that needs to be washed. It's going to be washed tonight. And yes, we're going to be making baked ratatouille with beans. So I need eggplant, zucchini, which I've got, 2 capsicums, which we've got, onions, cannelloni beans, olives. I need to have 1 cup. We don't have 1 cup, we've only got a little bit left. I only bought a little jar of olives and we had some with our Greek salad the other night. So we're going to have that, whatever's left of that, and crushed tomatoes. So I'll get that out of the fridge. I think it's 2 jars of tomatoes, which is 1 big jar. One of these eggplants really needs to be used up, but I think it will be fine. Haven't actually touched my capsicums yet since buying them. Onions. I must say courgettes or eggplants are really hardy in terms of how long they last for in the fridge. Like they can be looking pretty soft and wrinkly on the outside and they're perfectly fine on the inside. Okay, so the first step here is to sweat the eggplant. The recipe calls just for 1 eggplant, but I'm going to use the 2 that I've got. It's 400 grams, so I think these 2 are going to be perfect. And going off how much eggplant I've used in the past, I've got a feeling they'll be just fine. I have not had any veggies today other than a little bit of avocado. Haven't even had any fruit today. So I just feel like this is what I'm going to need tonight. I bought some nice potato and rosemary sourdough to have tonight with this. Ideally, I would make my own loaf of sourdough. Full transparency, sourdough has not been made in this kitchen for a few months. I was just looking for the olives that I had in the fridge and found my sourdough starter tucked away. It's looking like it's going to need a feed, so I think I'll get it out this weekend, try and do something with it. We don't have any plans this weekend, so I might, this knife is very dull, I might be able to get cooking with some sourdough, but you know, times like this, thank God, we've just got all these down the road and I can go and get some nice bread to have with a dinner like this. I think this eggplants are actually just a little bit not quite ripe in a weird way because it's been sitting in the fridge for a while. It's almost like a little bit green. Anyway, here's what it is. The skin's really tough on it as well. Okay, let's sweat the eggplant. I'm going to leave that for 30 minutes, or just as long as we've got. It's only about just after 4 o'clock, so I'm just prepping ahead of time for dinner tonight. We'll probably take Jimmy to the dog park, go for a bit of a walk, before I get this in the oven. It does take quite a bit of time in the oven though, and I've got a feeling our daughter's going to have to go to bed quite early tonight, so we'll see. We might even put it in before. Now, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. This doesn't look like much of a dinner. Like, it doesn't look like anything special. It is so good. It all goes together so nice, especially with the olives. So I'm sad we don't have any olives, but it'll still be really delicious. Oh my gosh. Oh, Ben, this onion is getting me proper. Oh. Okay, last little bit of onion. Thank gosh. Okay, slightly recovered from the onion. So 2 zucchinis cut lengthways and then cut into 1.5 centimetre half moons. Jimmy's sitting out the back. My partner's home, working from home this afternoon. So he's in there with him. Although, okay, he was laying at the door there and I gave him the option, come in or stay there. And he stayed there, but I don't think he realised I was about to start cooking because it's early. So let me see, I'll open the door and he'll probably run in. Jimmy, do you want to come for a zucchini? Oh. Sit, sit. Whoa, whoopsie. And 2 capsicums. Do a bigger one and a smaller one. Now, whenever I make this dinner, it always looks super jam-packed. And like it's not gonna fit, but it cooks down and it fits every time. And what I love about it is it makes a really great lunch option. And it's such a big, serving that we're making tonight that this will do us for lunch for the next 2 or 3 days. Do the 2 garlic cloves now. One's supposed to be for the sauce, but every time I make this recipe, I literally just chuck it all in, except the eggplant. Although I've forgotten to do that a few times, and it still turned out fine. You're supposed to mix the sauce in a separate container, and then pour it on. But I just put it all in and mix it through. So both of the garlic cloves are going in. Okay, so that's all the veggies. Thyme leaves, salt, pepper. We're almost out of pepper again. Salt, pepper. And into this we put our 800 grams of crushed tomatoes, 1 cup of olives. We'll see how many olives we've got here. Not many, that's okay. I'll cut these in half just so they stretch a little bit further. A bit more pepper in as well. Give this a mix. Almost forgot the bean. That's why I get the main ingredients out, because I'm a bit of an airhead when it comes to recipes. Give this a good mix. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover this in alfoil foil now until we're ready to put it in the oven. I'll let the eggplant just continue to sit. And then you top it with the eggplant and then pop it in the oven. Bake it for 30 minutes on 220 to brown the eggplant on the top, and then you give it a mix through and put it back in for another 30 minutes. Now, from my experience, like, you want this all to be similar to what's in the photo in the cookbook. You want it to all to be like quite nicely baked together. It takes longer than an hour for me, probably closer to that hour and a half. So I'll get this in at 5 o'clock at the latest, I think, tonight.
When it comes to a homemade dinner, there is nothing better than this. Being able to prep it earlier in the day. On this night, we went to the dog park. We let Jimmy have a run around, and Lola had a little play in the playground there as well. And we got back, it was a bit later than I was hoping to get back, but that's okay, because all the hard work was done. All we had to do was pop this in the oven and wait for it to cook. So that eggplant was well and truly ready to go on top. So yeah, I just topped it with the eggplant and then popped it in the oven. You take it out after 30 minutes or so to give it a stir before putting it back in, because the eggplant just stays on top for the first bit of time in the oven when the oven's really high, just to brown that nicely. And then, yeah, give it a stir, pop it back in, pretty much cook it until you're happy with it, and then serve it with some buttered bread. It's always a win too when I can have a shower before dinner's ready. I love to have a shower, wash off the day before enjoying dinner, and then putting Lola to sleep. So that was my day. Moving on here now, we are doing a meal that I have not cooked in so long. I actually don't think I've cooked it since moving out of home, like over 10 years ago. We are making slow cooker lamb shanks. Instead of using the slow cooker, I opted for our large cast iron pot. This is just a cast iron pot from a camping store. Little tip, if anyone's looking for a nice big cast iron pot but you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, have a look at your local camping store. You'll get, quite a few options for a cheaper pre-seasoned pot. This one was actually gifted to us for the purpose of camping, because my partner and I love camping, but we've actually never used it camping yet. We're yet to go camping now with our daughter. It is on the cards soon. That is a whole new thing that I'm hoping to film one day for you guys, but we have used this pot in the kitchen more times than I can count. I use it for my sourdough bread too whenever I make that. So this lamb shank recipe, I'm using 6 lamb shanks. I had 4 and I ended up going to the shop to buy 2 more just because I wanted to make sure we had plenty for leftovers, and we certainly did. I didn't think it was going to all fit in the pot submerged, but we got there in the end. So this is a recipe Tin Eats recipe. I'll link the recipe down below, but so simple. Like any good, slow cooker recipe, you brown off the meat first. You add everything else. I think we browned our onions and our carrots and our celery a little bit as well. Popped it all in. We cooked it on the stove top for a little bit before putting it in the oven. I highly recommend, if any of you out there are feeling like slow cooker lamb shanks after watching this video, if you do have a big cast iron pot or just a big pot, do it in the pot. Don't do it in the slow cooker, because the way that the lamb shanks and the sauce just caramelized and reduced, you're not going to get that in the slow cooker. And that's something that I've just learned over the last, particularly the last, 4 or 5 months since doing the slow cooker dump meals. I'm yet to finish all of those slow cooker dump meals, but where it went wrong is I, for a lot of them, assume that any of the meals that I make in a pot over time, like slow cooker in a pot, for example, our butter chicken that we make, I kind of slow cook that in the pot. I cook it for a lot longer on a lower heat than what the recipe recommends. And I just assume that it would be fine to go in the slow cooker, but you just don't get that reduction like you do in a big pot. Anyways, this was a huge hit. You'll see too that the leftovers that we had, and just in terms of portions, so this huge batch of slow cooker lamb shanks, this fed myself, my partner, and my sister who was staying with us at the time, and of course Lola. We had 1 to 2 shanks each. One was actually plenty for us, except for Ben, he had 2. And then there was 2 lamb shanks left, I believe, or 1.5, and heaps of sauce. And all I did was make it into kind of like a bolognese. So I just took all the meat off the bone, heated it up, and had it with pasta and cheese. And this was so, so good. I'm actually thinking I'm planning next month's groceries, just finalising them now. It's the end of June. And it's just reminded me I'm going to put this on the list to have next month, because it was just so good. And you can just see what I was talking about here. It caramelizes. Well, not caramelizes, it just reduces into such a rich sauce. And you wouldn't get this in a slow cooker. On this night, we just served it with some good old mashed potato and broccoli. You saw just then the potato boiling in the pot. The green stuff that was in there, that is the broccoli stems. We always boil or steam it for Jimmy because he loves to eat those. Hi all, it is Monday today. Yesterday we had a late lunch out, so we decided not to have dinner when we got home because we were quite hungry, quite full. Cue the second coffee of the day, which is not going to be my last. I made a whole mocha pot, if you can see it there, and this is half the mocha pot. I've got another one in me, that's for sure, before the end of today. But anywho, I'm about to show you what I got from the fruit and veg shop for the first half of the month. It was a really great shop, and I am currently cooking myself some lunch before I do that. So I've got 3 zucchinis that I sauteed in some butter, salt and pepper. I've got some rice on. I've opened a big can of tuna, one of the 425. I'll just turn you around to see here. The 425 gram tin of tuna I've opened up. I'm going to have some cherry tomatoes I got from the fruit and veg shop with some chili oil, Koopy, zucchini that I've already said, that's 3 zucchinis that I've sauteed in my cast iron, and the rice, which is, lucky I've looked at it now, it's looking pretty much almost done. I might add a little bit more water to that. Just by feeling it on the wooden spoon, I think it's got a little bit longer. A few more minutes and then we're going to have some lunch. Same day, veggies are still on the table and it's 6 p.m, but I'm going to get to that. But for now, I've changed plans for dinner tonight to something a little bit simpler. So we've got this leftover lamb shank in the beautiful red wine slow cooked sauce. So I'm going to pull this apart. This is going to be like a bolognese, lamb bolognese tonight. And I have done some pasta and some peas for a veggie side with dinner tonight. You know, this is better than nothing. So the peas are almost done. And then I'm also going to get the medium-sized pot on to warm through the lamb. Got the lamb shanks in with the sauce. I managed to get most of the meat off the shanks, and then I've just put them back in because there's still some meat on. I won't be able to pull off until or just be easier to pull off when it's warm through. So I've just got the pan on low and yeah, wait for this to warm through. But I've got my peas ready and the pasta ready, and we'll have it with some parmesan.
Finally, I am going to show you what I got for our first half of the month, or the next week and a bit, for vegetables. If you guys have been following me, you know that I do monthly grocery hauls and I do a mid-month top-up shop, which includes some things from Woolies, but mostly a top-up fruit and veg shop. This is the fruit and veg shop for the start of the month. I'm whispering or talking quietly because my daughter, the poor thing, is on the tail end of hand, foot and mouth. So she hasn't been feeling well, and understandably she's only wanted to contact nap. So she's only wanted to be on me to sleep, which, I mean, it is what it is, and I'll do it for her to sleep. That was the first 12 months of her anyway, is all contact naps. So sleeping in a cot is a relatively new thing for us during the day. But we got a good few months of her sleeping in the cot consistently for naps, and then she's obviously gotten sick and just needed that contact nap, and I don't think she's getting into a deep enough sleep for me to put her down. Anyways, that being said, she's currently asleep in her room. So I love it because I can finally show you what I got from the fruit and veg shop, and also I've got my bowl out because I'm about to prep. We'll marinate chicken for chicken souvlaki we're going to have tonight, with some Greek salad, homemade tzatziki and pita bread, which I'm going to film for you, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm going to show you what I got from the fruit and veg shop. Total cost $42, and then I ran back in and got $2.50 worth of cucumber. So all up, I spent roughly just under $45 for fruit and veg. That also included 3 litres of milk that I got while I was there, which was $6.50.
Okay, so these mushrooms here were $8.99 a kilo. So I got under a kilo. I got $6.30 worth of mushrooms. Like I said, the milk that's in the fridge, I've got 3 litres of milk. The celery here was $2. It's definitely looking like it's, you know, on its last leg. So I'm going to be popping this in the freezer soon. I did get 2 packs of cherry tomatoes. We've eaten one of them between dinner and lunch. Well, no, just lunch today and yesterday. These were quite expensive, $4 each. Here I got 3 medium-sized eggplants for $1.99 a kilo, so $2.27. Zucchinis, we've eaten 3 of these for lunch yesterday and today, $2.99 a kilo, so $4.30. I bought this cucumber, I bought this head of cauliflower because I thought it looked really lovely and it was nice and big. This was $3.50, so really quite affordable. The bananas here were $2.30 a kilo, so $2.40 worth of bananas. There's a few missing there. The capsicums here, so I've got 4, or is there 5? 5 big green capsicums for $2.50 for the bag. Now, the sweet potato, always really nice and cheap at the moment, 99 cents a kilo, $1.60. The carrots, mostly Virginia, I would say, $1.80 for a kilo of carrots. These brown onions were one of the big specials, and they're really nice and fresh as well. They're usually cheap because they're quite small and not so fresh, but these ones were big and fresh, which is great. And they were 48 cents a kilo, so 90 cents for a big bag of brown onions. I ran back in to get this one, so 3 Lebanese cucumbers, $5.99 a kilo, $2.52, and I think that's it. So everything here I got from the fruit and veg shop, including 3 litres of milk, for just under $45. Okay, let's marinate this chicken. Yes, that celery is going to sit there and judge me, and that is okay because I'm not getting to that for a while. So I've spared you the pain of watching me peel and cut up garlic for the first time in a very long time, because as you know, I have bought previously 2 tubs of crushed diced garlic cloves that are Australian, but I've run out. I went through exactly 1 tub of those garlic cloves a month, so I just need to order some more. But in the meantime, I bought myself a little pack of garlic just to get us through. According to the recipe, you're supposed to blitz it all together in a food processor, but I'm going to skip that part. Find my measuring spoons. Try not to wake up my daughter while I'm at it. That was loud. These drawers are highly unorganized, so don't mind them. A teaspoon of rosemary. A tablespoon of oregano. The recipe calls for sweet paprika. I don't have that, so I'm just going to put smoked paprika in. So a teaspoon of that. I'm halving the recipe too that I'm linking below, because it calls for a lot more chicken than I have. I've just got 2 chicken breasts. Also, what I'm going to put in, instead of white wine, I'm going to use some chicken broth. An 1/8 of a cup of olive oil. It's about right. And the juice of 1 lemon. Half a lemon, sorry. And a bay leaf. Okay. So all we have to do now is chop up the chicken. There actually is quite a bit of chicken here, they're 2 big breasts, but I'm sure this will be more than enough marinade. Also just added a bit of water because it was supposed to be an 1/8 of a cup of broth, and I just put the chicken broth, the concentrate in. So I'm just going to do long strips.
also going to make a quick Greek salad, which I won't do until we're about to eat. I've got some feta, olives, just everything you put in a Greek salad, tomatoes, red onion, and cucumber. And I also want to make some fresh tzatziki, which is super simple. If you haven't made it before, it's just lemon, Greek yogurt, grated cucumber, and I believe there's some dill in it. So I will be doing that later and hopefully filming it for you guys. Unless my partner Ben needs to cook dinner because Lola, our daughter, needs me. We'll see how we go. I'm really hoping you can hear everything I'm saying because I am talking very softly because my daughter's asleep. And I just checked, yes, I am recording because that's happened a few too many times over the last few months. Hope you guys are doing well. And I just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. I love the little community that we're slowly growing in Patreon. I know I've got quite a few unpaid members, so I'm trying to think of something that I can offer you guys as unpaid members. I'll get there, I'll think of something. But for my paid little community, you get access to my monthly grocery planner and meal planner each month. That's a little bit different each month, obviously, and it features Ginny each month, so I email that to you, or if you like, I can post you a hard copy too, and it's printed on really high quality thick paper. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you. It means so much. Of course, from a monetary perspective, because I've just been monetized on YouTube, so I'm earning a few dollars, but more so, it's just, I pinch myself all the time thinking about, I've got, more than 1,000 people on this channel, and probably more people that watch it haven't subscribed yet, that are enjoying the videos that I put up. I've wanted to make a YouTube channel doing this type of content for, God, let me think, probably about 8 years now. And, life gets in the way, and you can, if you're anything like me, you can quickly be a bit, turned off by the fact that you might not have the best equipment. I'm literally filming on my old iPhone. I'm hoping, my goal for the end of this year is to buy or just to have some better filming equipment and microphone equipment. But, if I let that continue to stop me from making this YouTube channel, I would not have started it yet. So thank you all so much for watching my channel and being here. It's really cool, and I know that I'm only so small, but that doesn't matter to me. It matters that I've got, people like yourselves that are watching my video and hopefully enjoying it. So please don't be shy to comment in the comments, because I love reading them all and I get back to them all as well. Anyways, that is smelling so good. I'll show you a close-up of what that's looking like. My chicken is marinating. Smells really nice. I'm going to cover it just with a plate until my daughter wakes up, and I can make a bit more noise with alfoil. And I'm going to pop this in the fridge and see it in 5 to 6 hours. Okay, I didn't get around to, if you can hear some blocks or some noise, it's my daughter playing with some blocks. I didn't get around to stirring this today, but I marinated the chicken, so let's cook it. And then I'm going to make my Greek salad. So tomatoes, cucumber, red onion. What else do I need? Feta and olives.
And just going off what I said before about how much I'm enjoying, being a YouTuber and sharing what I get up to in the kitchen with you guys. If you guys ever have any ideas of anything else you would like to see, please let me know and I will consider, different type of content, keeping it within the kitchen. I also have thought about doing some cleaning and whatnot, vlogs for this channel, but I think I'm just going to keep it the kitchen for now, unless a few of you have some other ideas. I'll always share my grocery hauls, and I'll always share my dinner vlogs that I've been doing since I started this channel in, I believe it was October last year. I'll always be publishing this content, but anything else you would like to see, let me know. I'm considering doing like a deep clean of the kitchen and a bit of organization of the kitchen when I have time. It's on my list, so if you guys want to see that, let me know, and I'll try and prioritize that for you guys. Just a little FYI as well, if you see my little daughter Lola running around, she's only ever running around in the kitchen if there's another adult here watching her. We have the house baby proofed. You see all of those beautiful latches that are on the oven. We've got a latch on the oven door and the grill door. We have little latches and rubber band setups on the rest of the cabinets, so she can't get into anything dangerous. She could turn the dials, but again, she's always supervised. We tried the little plastic cover for the dials, but I think I mentioned it in a previous video. They didn't last even like a week, and they started to break the plastic on them. So I'm going to have to look at another option there, but she'll never be unsupervised, and we'll never leave anything that's like a fire hazard on top of the stove top as well. Anyways, I digress. I'm making here a homemade tzatziki. Highly recommend, if you guys like tzatziki, try making it at home. It's so easy and it's so much better than the store-bought, in my opinion. I'll link the recipe down below. For the pita breads, we just buy the Mission pita breads from Woolies. Usually like to get the whole meal. If they don't have whole meal, we'll just get the plain. But all I did here was turn on the grill, and we just grill them with a little bit of oil. I got a little spray bottle of oil, pop a bit of oil on them, and then grill them until they're warm. And that's it. So easy. I mean, it did take me a bit to get around to marinating the chicken, but all in all, super simple, delicious dinner. Something warm and hearty, but also fresh with the Greek salad and the tzatziki. The next night here, another nice, warm, hearty meal that we're making is a meatloaf. Now, this is again a Recipe Tin Eats recipe. No shame in this. The recipe's down below. I love her stuff. It's my second time making this recipe. I had already mixed the breadcrumbs. Again, another make ahead recipe. You can mix the meatloaf, all the meatloaf ingredients, get it in the tin that you're going to bake it in, and wait until you're ready to bake it. And that's what I did, is I did it off camera about, in 30 minutes, an hour prior. And all it is a cup of panko breadcrumbs, a large onion grated, a kilo of ground beef, 2 eggs, 3 garlic cloves minced, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1/4 cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup of parsley, a teaspoon of dried thyme, 2 beef bulletin cubes, and black pepper. A little note here, if you're going to make the recipe, listen to Nagi when she says to, with the beef mince, to form it into like a nice rectangle before putting it in your pan or whatever you're going to cook it in. Do that. I didn't do it last time. I just kind of squished it in the pan and it didn't hold together. It wasn't like a loaf, it was just like a big kind of loose meatball that I had cooked. So make sure you form it into like a rectangular shape, nice and firmly, and then put it in your pan, because I can confirm it makes a big difference. And then, you mix together your glaze, which is 1/2 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar, and a tablespoon of brown sugar. You put half of it on now, and then you take the meatloaf out, drain off some of the oil halfway through cooking it, and then re-glaze it before putting it in to finish cooking. And that's it. So simple. You'll see on this channel. Stay tuned if you want some more super simple dinner ideas, tried and tested by me, because I will be making them in the next few videos. The month of July if you're interested in knowing what I'm cooking up for the month of July, I will be posting them to my Patreon community. So check out the link down below. If you'd like to know how I meal plan and my little monthly meal plan, if you want to have access to that, which features Jimmy every month. It's a really cute but handy meal planner. The meal planner not only has space for you to write your plans throughout the month for your meal, but it also has a little budget tracker, a little to-use eat section so you can keep track of anything in the fridge you need to use up to reduce your waste. It also, my favourite part, has a little top-up shop section so you can write what you need to remember to get from the shop as you go if you've forgotten something throughout the month. So yeah, if you're interested in checking that out and also as a way of supporting my channel, check out the link down below. I'm about to show you a quick creamy mushroom pasta too that Ben cooked for the last night of this week. I'll also link the recipe down below for that one. But thank you all so much for being here. And I will see you next time for a brand new video, which will be, spoiler alert, my July grocery haul. I will be filming that this month. I'm so sad that I missed last month. First month missing it since starting this YouTube channel in October. But I'll see you again in less than a week for my July monthly grocery haul. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.